Okay, Bitcoin, blockchain, and dogecoin Bitcoin nfts everyone is discussing nowadays, cryptocurrency, but oh my god, what does it all mean? Welcome to the only video you'll ever need. You're a crypto newbie. I'll explain to you about cryptogenius. What it is, and why it continues growing. Important thing I've spent money on is me. And its negative aspects. Okay, so in the early days of society, there was no such thing as money in those times. Hello and welcome to KYC News. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. This initial stage is known as the only path. Purchasing anything from someone was to approach them and say, "Oh, I like your horse a lot. Sorry, Milo, I'll give you my kitten in exchange. I've never traded you, but there's a problem." Such a system is that even if you are completely content to surrender your horse, simply perhaps won't want a cat, therefore the swap never take place. But that's where money is went in stage 2 coins that, as a result of built from priceless components like gold and silver, everyone simply accepted who you are aware of the value of the British pound is correct. The reason they are called pounds, though, is due to the fact that 1 pound used to be 1 pound of silver was used, and suddenly abrupt in a trade. If you don't want my help, it doesn't matter. As long as I have coins, a cat even so, we can still exchange for your horse. If you don't need the silver at all since it's a valuable material, possess the assurance that you can hand over that currency to someone else and exchange goods that you desire. Convenient, but this developed later. Stage 3, as banks progressed, governments were in place and had control. As we came to understand, so long as if we had faith in the system, we could leave from having to transport expensive metal blocks toward a more practical alternative, printed money. It performs the same function but with money. Is made of doesn't have value because 100% silver simply because of the government, it is valuable. Claims to have value similar to this £10 note in the UK. The note is only composed of it's made of plastic. They recently altered it to make it more durable, but if you pay close attention, you see that all this is exactly the Bank of England's declaration that they paid £10 to the holder of this note. Essentially, this is basically a receipt of sorts. Proof that you possess a specific quantity of money. Nevertheless, when technology advanced even more practical, we discovered ways to trade and store our belongings. Now that we're in what I would call stage 4, where there are more people than ever utilizing credit to make internet purchases. Actually, when you're at that card stage, since we no longer see our money, it's about currency, notes, or it's just spreadsheet entries. Kidding. Similar to when I purchased a music record from Amazon's only current development is that my bank updates my spreadsheet with a new entry statement states that Aaron now has $10 less. Thereafter, Amazon's bank adds a record that claims they have an additional $10, which is why I've already given you my introduction. In order to set the scene for where many people view cryptocurrencies as they sit. People as the most practical period for exchange ever. Stage 5. How to approach the term cryptocurrency. I am familiar with the logo for 100 virtual Bitcoin. Somewhat resembles a real object. Coin have a little coin right now, but within cryptocurrency, there is no gold. There is no paper and silver. Essentially, it's merely a transfer of digital resources. The fundamental idea is the same. Consider them as if they were merely running spreadsheets showing who has paid whom what. Nonetheless, maintaining track of many banks, their individual encrypted records, one and only one massive spreadsheet with every exchange involving that currency, and this is referred to as a ledger. So we are all but with a good spreadsheet. What's the big deal? Why is people are going crypto crazy? Well, there are some clear benefits to a system of exchange like this one, because it's decentralized, although each transaction within a particular the currency is they were all entered into the same ledger. Are numerous duplicates of that ledger, and everyone associated with the network has one. You may be familiar with mining cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin mining. The only thing left is one who set up a computer to perform calculations through exchanges. The copy of this ledger they have, or there are currently there are 1 million Bitcoin miners worldwide. Bitcoin is simply one sort of currency. Cryptocurrency, the reason why they're succeeding, if you invest all of your computer's resources in mining, if we use Bitcoin, you'll make some using Bitcoin as payment. Thus, if I go as a result of this into a shop and buy anything with 5 Bitcoins something, then, rather than relying just on one, instead of checking the shop, the bank records using each and every computer on this, if I have enough network, and if I succeed, every computer will give the okay, after which everyone will update their records on their own. So, since you end up with this many duplicates of the same ledger, it becomes pretty simple to determine who's attempting anything shady. Did you purchase this? Such as if I attempt to hack into someone's computer connected to a network, and by adapting, I can earn more money. And their copy of the ledger's figures, it won't pass through the system. We'll understand that 99.9 a copy of the ledger's copies reads only one of them is speaking one thing, some other item, hence something must have been messed with. Extremely well-organized system, and I feel that people adhere to it because they anticipate the future as even more so for open traceable transactions than having like some record fragments this way and other pieces there. And I am aware of it seems difficult at this time. Yet as we proceed, I believe you'll be aware that for many individuals in a way it's easier and there are many possibilities. In countries with access to the internet, what is all you need for cryptocurrency, but you don't access to established banks, necessitate extensive paperwork as well as documentation. And I've kind of had already hinted this, but the primary benefit of crypto is that banks are no longer required. Because everything is kept in storage, those listed in this ledger you can transact internationally. As opposed to taking time, practically immediately a half day without financial restrictions, plus you don't need to be concerned with exchange rates, need not be concerned about interest rates, and even transaction fees are nearly non-existent. For there are some cryptocurrencies, however, this is where the fun really starts. I'm great at gatherings, I swear. Which cryptocurrencies go by? Cryptocurrencies are valuable because they encrypted with cryptography, and one such instance, which many of the most popular cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, use now that blockchain is popular. This blockchain is not clear to me. The blockchain of Bitcoin is not a currency. Itself, blockchain is merely a safe form of ledger, so you're aware of that large spreadsheet that each person has a recording transactions. Blockchain is merely an organizing principle. Interestingly enough, blocks, so that each time I pay for everything involving Bitcoin, that transaction is block recorded. Each block includes transaction information, such as who was compensated and how much a hash it serves as a special identifier, and the previous block's hash in the order or most recent transaction that was captured. Additionally, the system's pivot is that if a block contains something that changed, then the hash of that block will alter. You beginning to understand what this is about. Moving due to each block contains historical data as well. If this block's hash, then block changes, then the following block won't have a corresponding hash with it. So each following block following that one. Therefore, if you mix these, considering what we already discussed, this notion of a myriad of variations, having each user have their own copy of the blockchain database. Thus, if I wanted to build something false, a deal that says paid me money, chain analysis indicates a 0.34%. of cryptocurrency exchanges are illicit. 5 to 10% of typical cash transactions are illegal, and I believe that is the case because it has some erroneous belief that money behave. Bitcoin are anonymous, in reality pseudonymous, which implies even if your personal information isn't accessible to all, your public key is your special identification, shall be ingrained in the blockchain over time when conducting business with it. Cash is simply a superior form of payment for the majority of illegal activity due to the fact that it's untraceable. Do not inquire as to how I am aware of that, but in addition to the drawbacks, there are simply some genuinely strange events that come to pass because of crypto. For instance, know what an NFT is if you haven't. A non-fungible token. Perhaps you should sit down for this one. I hesitate to call it foolish, but this one gives me pause. Hence, you are aware of how to enter in a gallery of art and purchase a painting in any case, since that the blockchain is to pay just to possess digital ownership of something to ensure that no one is deterred from using or disclosing that item. However, what it implies is that you'd be legally regarded as the proprietor of the original and copies would be distributed among them all, even if for all practical purposes they share the same appearance and actions. Many of these NFTs are actually just JPEG pictures. I believe that some individuals find this to be stupid and mildly amusing is that a definite difference exists between purchasing an NFT and the rights to an object. Hence, if you purchase the appropriate service, anything that is completely legal so you can make merchandise or market licenses, you cannot identify the original owner of an NFT, but has all the rights to reproduce that. All it is a piece. The fact that you're utilizing the blockchain shows that you possess some ownership of the thing, yet it's obvious the mere ability to state that has some value, since this Gucci Ghosts NFT sold for $3,600. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, sold the company the original tweet he ever sent for $2.9 million as a NFT. Any takers for my 5 words that I could do? And this one absolutely amazes me. Picture, which is just a summary of artworks created by one man very recently, sold for $69 million. Nice to literally clarify, this provides the purchaser a JPEG image ownership in the digital sphere. Lastly, you may be familiar with on the same principles as Dogecoin, Dirtcoin technical as Litecoin. However, people, it was made as a joke, began disseminating it and adding some of cash into it because they believed it was amusing, but that increased the worth of it to the point where there are now some who have become millionaires in reality only because they purchased Dogecoin at the time it was affordable. And the globe is interesting. The outside, if you did, please let me know. Think about distributing it to a friend or a relative you could profit. I really would appreciate that. Both for my top smartphones of 2021. Visit this link to view an Instagram story that ruins your phone. Go. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.